Why do your dreams vanish the moment you wake up? Have you ever had the eerie feeling that something important happened while you slept, only to forget it as soon as you opened your eyes? Recent scientific discoveries suggest that your inability to remember dreams might be a built-in safeguard, protecting your mind from the chaos of the dream world. But what if there's something much deeper, much darker at play? In this video, we'll unravel the mystery behind dream amnesia and explore its unsettling implications for consciousness, reality, and even your own identity. Stay until the end, and you may never look at your dreams the same way again. Understanding dream amnesia. When we sleep, our minds enter an altered state of consciousness. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for logic and decision-making, becomes less active, while other brain areas become more vibrant, allowing dreams to take shape. These vivid, often surreal experiences feel real while we're in them, but once we wake up, they start to fade almost immediately. This phenomenon, known as dream amnesia, affects nearly everyone, no matter how intense or memorable the dream seemed in the moment. But why does this happen? Our brains are capable of creating detailed, elaborate scenarios in our dreams, yet we forget them as soon as we wake up. This raises an unsettling question. Why would our brains go through the trouble of creating entire dream worlds, only to erase them? Recent research points to a complex interplay of brain chemistry and evolution. As we transition from sleep to wakefulness, the chemicals that help form memories shift, making it harder for dreams to transfer from short-term to long-term memory. But what if there's more to it than just brain chemistry? Let's dive into the more sinister reasons behind why you can't remember your dreams. 1. The Reality Firewall Theory. One compelling theory is that our brains actively protect us by erasing our dreams. Think about the nature of dreams. They often defy the laws of physics, logic, and reality. You might fly through the air, breathe underwater, or experience impossible scenarios. If these memories were too vivid in your waking mind, they could blur the line between what is real and what is imagined. Scientists have proposed that our brains have evolved a kind of reality firewall, a mechanism that suppresses dream memories to keep us grounded in the real world. Imagine waking up one day and struggling to distinguish between something you dreamed and something that actually happened. It sounds disorienting, doesn't it? In fact, studies have shown that people with certain mental conditions, like schizophrenia, often have difficulty distinguishing between dreams and reality. This confusion could be dangerous if our brains didn't have a system in place to keep dream memories from mixing with real-life experiences. But is this firewall really there to protect us? Or is it keeping something more profound hidden from our waking minds? 2. Emotional overload prevention. Dreams are not just random firings of neurons. They're often emotionally charged. You may experience intense joy, paralyzing fear, or deep sadness during dreams. But what would happen if all of those intense emotions carried over into your waking life? Imagine starting your day with the emotional weight of every dream you experienced the night before. Psychologists suggest that dream amnesia might act as an emotional buffer, preventing us from being overwhelmed by unnecessary emotions. After all, we've all woken up feeling residual emotions from a dream, maybe anger or sadness, even though we can't remember the details of the dream itself. Now, imagine if you could remember every emotionally charged dream vividly. You'd be burdened by a backpack full of emotional baggage every morning. Could this protective mechanism also be keeping us from confronting deeper emotional truths hidden within our subconscious? Studies show that people who remember more of their dreams tend to score higher on emotional sensitivity and neuroticism. This suggests that the ability to forget dreams might be crucial for maintaining emotional stability. If dream amnesia is our mind's way of shielding us from unnecessary emotional turmoil, what are we really protecting ourselves from? 3. The subconscious sorting station. There's another theory. What if forgetting dreams is actually part of how we process and integrate information? Some researchers propose that our dreams serve as a kind of subconscious sorting station. While we sleep, our brains sift through the day's experiences, consolidating important memories and discarding irrelevant details. In this theory, dream amnesia is not a flaw but a feature. By forgetting the dream itself, we allow our brains to focus on what really matters, the useful memories that contribute to our growth and survival. You might notice that sometimes you wake up with a solution to a problem you've been puzzling over, even if you don't remember dreaming about it. That's because your subconscious mind has been hard at work. And the act of forgetting the dream is just the cleanup process after a productive night of mental sorting. But what else is being sorted out in these dreams? Are there parts of ourselves, perhaps things we don't want to face, that are getting discarded as well? 4. The creativity crucible. Dreams have long been associated with creativity. Many great works of art and even scientific breakthroughs have been inspired by dreams. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein and Paul McCartney's song Yesterday are just two famous examples of this phenomenon. What if forgetting dreams is essential to this creative process? Some scientists suggest that partial dream recall is more beneficial for creativity than total recall. When we wake up with only fragments of a dream, our conscious mind starts filling in the gaps. This encourages imaginative thinking and sparks new ideas. In fact, studies show that people who are awakened during REM sleep, the stage where most vivid dreaming occurs, show increased problem-solving abilities upon waking. But is creativity the only thing being unlocked in these fragmented memories? Could our dreams be showing us something more? A hidden truth that's lost in the haze of forgetfulness? 5. The memory consolidation mechanism. Sleep isn't just about rest. It's a crucial period for memory consolidation. During REM sleep, when most dreaming occurs, our brains transfer information from short-term to long-term memory. Some scientists believe that dream amnesia is a byproduct of this memory consolidation process. As our brains work to strengthen important memories, the dreams themselves are sacrificed. But think about this for a moment. The same brain mechanisms that help us forget unnecessary details while awake are also active during sleep. This suggests that forgetting dreams might be part of a larger memory optimization process. Our minds are freeing up resources by discarding the dream content that doesn't serve our waking life. What if, in this process, we're losing something invaluable? Insights, wisdom, or even a glimpse into a different version of reality. 6. The Parallel Universe Protection Program. Now let's explore a more speculative but intriguing theory. What if dreams are glimpses into parallel realities? Some physicists propose the existence of alternate dimensions, where different versions of our lives play out. In this view, dream amnesia could be a kind of protective mechanism, preventing us from becoming too aware of these alternate selves. If dreams are windows into these parallel worlds, then forgetting them upon waking might be our mind's way of shielding us from the existential confusion that would arise from knowing we exist in multiple realities simultaneously. Could this amnesia be protecting our fragile sense of self from the mind-bending implications of the multiverse? 7. The Consciousness Calibration Tool. Dream amnesia could also play a key role in maintaining our sense of self. Some philosophers and neuroscientists suggest that our consciousness needs constant recalibration to stay coherent. Dreams, and our forgetting of them, might be part of this process. As we cycle through different states of consciousness during sleep, from light sleep to deep sleep, and then to REM sleep, our brain resets itself, ensuring that our waking consciousness remains stable. But what happens if this recalibration fails? Could those who remember too many dreams start to feel disconnected from reality, or even lose touch with their true selves? Conclusion. So, what does all of this mean for you? Why do you forget your dreams? And what are you really missing out on when those dreams slip away? Whether it's a mechanism to protect your mind from emotional overload, a way to preserve your grasp on reality, or something even more profound, dream amnesia serves a purpose. But the next time you wake up and feel the lingering shadow of a forgotten dream, ask yourself, is my mind protecting me from something, or is it hiding something much deeper?